Jonas, you're the first one that I've used that new entry on. What do you think?
Very nice, very professional. Yeah,
How you doing? Great t-shirt.
thank you. Best shape of my life. I'm doing very, very great. I'm doing very, very well. Thank you. And you?
I'm really good, thank you. And I'm so pleased that you've got a fight. When we last spoke, obviously it was, really tough time for you out in Spain because your opponent pulled out. So you went all the way over there with your team. There were some complications with COVID. We didn't think the event was going to go ahead. And then you had to watch all your teammates fight and you didn't get to fight. So I'm so, so glad to say that you've got a fight now. You must be really excited.
I'm very, very, very excited, and it's a nice fight. There's a lot of new things in this fight that so it excites me more than a normal fight would, I think, as well. So yeah.
In what way do you mean?
So the thing is, it's gonna be a 5 round fight, 25 minutes. I've never fought 25 minutes. Not that I say it's gonna go for 25 minutes, but the whole training up to having a fight for 25 minutes, it's gonna be a bit different. It's gonna be in Poland. I've never fought in Poland before, and it's gonna be without a crowd. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's new too. So a lot of new factors.
How do you feel about fighting without a crowd there?
I'm okay. It's okay. Yeah. Lately, I have not even like noticed the crowd that much every time I fought. Also because I've been fighting a lot like the underdog, or like I've not been fighting at home.
Yeah.
Uh, so you you have to like let go of the crowd a little bit.
Yeah. And have it so you are actually now going into enemy territory again because you're fighting a Polish guy, but
Yeah.
for once all of his fans won't be in the crowd.
Yeah. So yes, it's okay.
And I saw in your post you said he's the number 2 ranked bantamweight in Poland, so
Yeah,
a top guy as well.
top guy. Yeah, yeah. But that's what I want. Like we
Yeah.
talked last time about, I got offered a not so good opponent, and that's not what I want. I want to prove myself.
Yeah. Well, you've fought on loads of great promotions. Your last fight was on Cage Warriors. You fought on Bama. You fought on my favourite, Rock. But you've fought on loads of great shows. You don't want to be taking a step backwards in terms of promotion or opponent now, do you? You want to be
No,
pushing
no,
on.
no, no. And I still feel like we could still sit out and wait for the big call from UFC, and I think it's just around the corner. But I want to get in there and prove myself as well. And
Yeah.
this is perfect opportunity for me. It's gonna be it's set to be 5 rounds. It's gonna be super exciting to try to train up to 5 rounds, and yeah, just the whole thing about fighting without a crowd, and a tough guy as well. That's really something that motivates me.
And I think the more experience you can get, and like you say, the 5 round fight and new experiences to add to your arsenal, the more experience that you can get, I think just prepares you even more for when that big call comes.
Yeah, 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 definitely, definitely.
So your last fight was against Liam Gittins, who we spoke about this a little bit when we did an MTT special, but for anyone who didn't see that, I think he's a great guy, and the way that you won, I just thought really proved your credentials and your pedigree to everyone. And I was glad it was on such a big stage. What did you take away from that performance?
Yeah, it was nice to get in and show my skills again. I was actually saying to myself, because it's been such a long time since I've been in the cage, that of course if the opportunity was going to come to finish him, I would go for it, but I would be okay with going 15 minutes just to feel that the whole fight again, because before that fight it was a law. I was sitting out for a long time. So yeah, it was just nice to get in and just feel myself and feel my skill set, and also like I had a new team behind me, new coach from Sweden. So just the whole process, it was just a feel out process, like for me to see how everything was playing. Yeah.
And like you said, it was almost 2 years between your last fight and the one before that. Was that injury? Was that not being able to get fights? What was that down to?
Yeah, it was a mix of like hard to get fights, and I just became a dad, and yeah, so I wanted to take some time to with my son as well, and give this time. And people I see, they became parents, and then they take fights, and there's a lot of new rhythms and a lot of new things that you need to get used to. And it's hard if you're not taken out of your environment. Like the
Yeah.
baby sleeps not so much, like and to wake up every night and all these things. It's a process you need to get to. So that was it as well. I wanted to get good rhythm before hard time finding fights as well.
And like you say, a lot of your fights have been away from home, so it's not just the fight itself and, you know, the time you've got to dedicate to camp, it's going away, it's all everything that's associated with that. I think we might have an issue with your Wi-Fi there, Jonas. We were doing so well. Oh, you're back.
Is it better now?
I think we're losing you a bit here. Let me go to a viewer question and see if you can see it. Joe Barton asked you what your favourite promotion to fight on is, or has been so far. No, I think we're losing him here. Oh, what a shame. I didn't even dug into half of my research there. We'll give him a couple of minutes in case he gets back. Now, let's stay on the line just in case we can get him back. Because Jonas is on a 3-fight win streak. Prior to that, he lost to Mike Heckendayo at Rock, and then prior to that, he was on a 7-fight win streak. So apart from the fight with Mike, there were 10 wins in a row. Right, people, I'm hoping that we can get him back on, and I don't want to cut the line yet. Got a great question from Cameron Chamberlain coming up as well. We'll give him a minute. I'm afraid you're stuck with me for the time being. So yes, he's fighting Sebastian Romanowski on Fight Exclusive Night in Poland on the 28th of November. And like we said, he's really struggling to get fights. So I'm glad that he has managed to get that one, and it's a great one. I think we're back.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've connected the Wi-Fi.
Well, I'm just going to apologise to the viewers who heard me rambling by myself while while I was hoping that we were going to get back on. Stuart says that they're all going to just start asking me questions, so I'm glad that didn't happen. Cameron Chamberlain suggests you versus Nathaniel Wood. Is that a fight you'd like in the future?
What was that?
You versus Nathaniel Wood as a fight in the future. Would you like that fight, Jonas?
That would be a sick fight. Like, yeah, for real.
What do you think of the UFC bantamweight division? Do you think you match up well against a lot of those guys? Uh-oh. Stuart, you might be back to just asking me questions. Give him a second, but we might be out of luck on this one, people. So I'm sorry. I'll try and get him back on. I'll try and get him back on with better Wi-Fi. Yeah, I'll give him 30 seconds and then we might have to can this one early. Sorry, everyone. I would have liked to have asked him about quite a few of the people who are in the UFC at the moment. I'd love to see him versus Sean O'Malley. Let me know if there's anyone that you'd like to see him matched with. I'm just going to give him a tiny bit longer. Peter Knox asked Jonas who his favourite fighter is, but I'll have a go at answering that as he's not on. Any UK shows coming up, Katie? Yes, Celtic Gladiator is on the 14th of November. That's going to be pay-per-view. We'll be interviewing a ton of guys and girls that are on the card for that soon. And we've got a Celtic Gladiator special on the MMA UK Late Show on Sunday. We've also got an amazing guy just joined us who's doing his own BJJ show for MMA UK. So make sure you check that out. It's actually Stuart Stoomboy Henderson who's asked this question. Yes, it is. It's Nate Diaz in the picture behind me. It was taken just before the BMF in New York. Yeah, I think that I might have to give up on Jonas because you don't want to listen to me ramble all night. But thank you everyone for watching. So, oh, here he is. Here he is. We'll give it one more go.
I'm so sorry. I had to go to another room. I did a Lewis on you.
Well, we want to get him back on. Actually, one of the questions that somebody asked while you were off was about any UK shows coming up. So I was talking about Celtic Gladiator. So I'm hoping that he'll be on the card for that and we can get him back on the show, but only if he's got better Wi-Fi this time. So yeah, the question was about Nathaniel Wood, but then just I wondered, is there anyone else in the UFC bantamweight division that you would really like to match up against in the future?
Of course, the champ, Peter Yan, but Nathaniel Wood, I think he did a good job last fight. Actually, I think he won that fight. To be honest, I think he was the most dominant. I know the other guy threw more punches and stuff, but it seemed like he was controlling more, and he was not the most tired one. The other guy was so tired and dead in the end. So yeah. I don't really know why they didn't give it to him, but maybe the takedown. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there were a few cards, like scorecards, that I didn't agree with on that show.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be a good fight, I think. But yeah, just the whole roster. I see I'm a bad match for a lot of these guys, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but of course, Peter Yan, I really likes his style, but I would like to test his wrestling.
And how do you see the title fight going with him and Aljo Sterling?
I think it's going to be a hard one, and especially now that he's not going to Thailand to train up for this fight. He's been doing all his camps in Thailand up till now, and I think that's pretty much closed down. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely.
He's the beast, isn't he?
Peter said, "Who's your favorite fighter?"
My favorite fighter. It's a hard one. That's a hard one. Khabib is up there 100%. John Jones, GSP, TJ Dillashaw. I really enjoy watching him fight.
Oh, not the drug cheat.
Yeah. But yeah, there's so many. It's hard. There's always, you can take a little bit from everybody. It's not like I have one guy I just love with everything.
Yeah,
I love a little bit from all of them. So, but I love myself the most. I'm the best.
That's the way it should be.
I'm my own biggest fan.
I'm sure your son is too. But where do you stand on the GOAT debate? Like, since Khabib's retired, there's been a lot of talk about the pound for pound best and the greatest of all time. You mentioned John Jones and GSP there. Who's your GOAT?
One more time.
Who do you think's the greatest of all time? You mentioned John Jones and GSP. I just wondered who you think is, the greatest of all time.
Now, I think he's up there, but he still like only defended his title 4 times. And you have a guy like GSP who defended his title 14 times or something, 13 times, and you have John Jones who defended it 15 times. I think they're the greatest, but like for all athlete and personal, I think Khabib is up there 100%.
Yeah. We've got some more questions coming in. Would you rather submit someone or knock them out?
What was that?
Would you rather submit someone or knock them out?
I cannot really hear what he's saying.
Trying. Would you rather submit someone or knock them out?
Knock them out, of course. Man, I don't. Yeah, submitting people is also like it's like a slowly kill, isn't it? But knocking people out, it's giving it a rush. It's different. But both things, I think it comes different ways because a knockout can come from out of nowhere. You can just throw a punch and you hit him. Then knock him out where you're sitting things up and then you knock him out. Um, but the submission is more like you have to set it up, you have to work it in, but you can also just come from out of nowhere, just it just comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Both are pretty nice.
You can get some really sexy submissions these days as well. Like, there's loads of rear naked chokes out there, but like if you get like a really cool heel hook or a leg lock or something like that, I feel like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but yeah,
Cameron Chamberlain
it
has
is
another one for you.
it's nice to knock people out.
Cameron Chamberlain said, "How do you find fatherhood and training at the same time now?"
I think it's actually very nice. Uh, my fiance is doing a hell of a job. Like, I also thanked her after my last fight because she's really amazing. She makes it easy for me to do what I have to do. So yeah, I can enjoy the time. Of course, it's not the same when I'm training hard and I cannot really be there and play so much because I'm tired. Being a dad, it's amazing. Yeah.
And then bare knuckle boxing wants to know if you fancy bare knuckle one day. I think we're struggling with sound here, guys.
What?
No. Can you hear me? I said bare knuckle boxing page asked if you'd fancy bare knuckle one day in the future, like maybe when you retire from MMA. Oh, guys, I think we might have to wrap this up because I'm losing him, I'm afraid. We are doing our best
Is it
here,
your
but
connection?
it's your connection. You've frozen, I'm afraid, Jonas. I
I don't know what's wrong. I think it's, you know what it is? I think it's this phone because I'm actually using an old phone. My phone, I had to bring it in yesterday. It just froze. It could not do anything. So I'm back on my old phone. Maybe that's why the connection is a bit bad. I don't know.
It could be.
I blame it on that.
We can hear you now, but I think you're struggling to hear me, and we can't actually see you, or you're frozen. So, maybe we wrap this up and try and do it again if you'd be up for that. I'm not even sure he can hear me now. Guys, I'm going to let him go
Yeah, I can
because
hear.
oh, you can hear me. Should we do that? Should we wrap it up? I haven't had technical issues like this for quite a long time. It reminds me of the old Facebook Lives that we had to do. Jonas, we'll wrap it up because people are bored of listening to me. But we'll definitely find a way to get this one back on if you're cool with that. Thank you so much, and I'll definitely be in touch, and we'll try and sort something out for soon and try and get this back on. Thank you everyone for watching. Sorry we had a few tech issues there. Take care.